Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of my podcast, Questions My Mom Asked Me About Rome. This one is going to be a bit different than the last two, where questions were extremely broad, so I apologize for any overload of information. So this one is going to be about the Vatican, and I had my mom ask me 5 questions, which allowed me to, instead of having it completely broad, narrow it down to where enough information to where there's not going to be an overload. So I'm going to say the 5 questions and answer them. First question, where is the Vatican located? Second, where did the Pope live before it was built? The third question, who was the first pope to reside there? And the fourth question is, how long did it take to build? The fifth question is, who was the Caesar? And the final question is, who was the architect of the Vatican? Is the Vatican one building or does it consist of more? And where does everyone sleep? So I'm going to start with the first question, is where is the Vatican located? If you've been to Rome or see a map of Rome herself, there are 7 hills of Rome, and outside of the walls of the city, we have 2 other hills. One I can't pronounce very well, but starts with a J, and the other one is the Vatican Hill. That's where, pretty much after the 1st century, where after Christianity became one of the Roman Empire's religions, probably like it became occupied by a church building over supposedly where St. Peter, who is known as the first bishop of Rome, was killed and was buried there. So, next question is, where did the Pope live before it was built? The Pope, after Christianity was accepted as one of the empire's religions, the emperor at the time gave the Pope a Lateran palace, which would be kind of basically the summer residence of the Pope during much of the papacy, because around this time period there's 2 other, where we have the Vatican today, there used to be just the old St. Peter's Basilica, which much later during the Renaissance period was torn down and rebuilt. And question number 3, who was the first pope to reside there? The first pope, when the Vatican as we know it today was built, the first pope to live there would be Pope Leo X, who was also known Giovanni de' Medici, who was also the son of Lorenzo il Magnifico. He was the first pope to reside in the newly built Vatican. The Vatican itself, as we know it, took a little bit longer to build because of the sheer size of it and the money it needed to be able to build. So the Pope had to come up with different areas of revenue to build, and one of them was to sell indulgences. And that's one of the things that kicked off the Protestant Reformation in the 15th century, which I'm part of one of the branches of the Reformation. I'm Presbyterian, which is Calvinism, which split off from Protestant. And who was the emperor that was around during the time of the building of the original St. Peter's Basilica before the current Vatican? Was the Emperor Constantine the Great. He was the emperor that granted Christianity legal rights within the empire. He didn't exactly make it the central religion of the empire. That doesn't happen until much later, around the 380s AD. And of course, Constantine was a bit on the sorry, it's hard to phrase this. He's well known for killing his own relatives, mostly his wife, his second wife, and his firstborn son, due to that she was claiming that he was coming onto her. One of those things where the emperor wants to gain power as a unified group, then he tries to get rid of his family. Yeah, the Romans were on some occasions, were very murder happy, and that's not good. So, yeah. So, if you ever read in Roman history, that's just gonna be part of it. Every emperor, since the end of the 2nd century, were either killed in battle or killed by their legion, their army. The final question is, who was the architect of the Vatican? That's the hard part, because that's pretty much the Vatican was built by different people, including, if you've been in the Vatican, also there's different paintings by different people who were there. So it's kind of hard to say who was the main person who built it, because it took a long time for it, through several popes, and also the fall of the Papal States, which pretty much centered around Rome herself and stretched pretty much through the forests of the Romagna and up to the city of Ravenna in northeastern Italy. So yeah, if anyone has any questions and stuff and would like me to answer them in a video, in the podcast, don't hesitate to write me or send a message to me on YouTube about it. So I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you.